Yeah. We're doing one of these again. The holiday season is right around the corner, and Black Friday is, later this week, which means it's that time of year again. The time of year where all of us gamers remind everyone in our lives of exactly how financially irresponsible we are by making our biggest gaming purchases of the year. Me personally, I'm finally buying a PS5 and Spider-Man's second place at the Game Awards. But even when I'm buying a next-gen console right in the middle of peak next-gen console buying season, I still kind of feel the need to ask the same question that we've all been asking basically non-stop for the past 3 years. Are these things even worth it? Let's start with the PS5, mainly because it's the one I'm planning to get, but also because it's arguably the hardest to justify. Across every generation, PlayStation's hardware has traditionally been pretty similar to the other consoles on the market. Sometimes it's a little better, sometimes it's a little worse, and if you're comparing it to Nintendo, it's almost always gonna be a lot more powerful. But when compared to its main competition, Xbox, there's rarely any meaningful difference, which means that whether the hardware heads want to admit it or not, the value of a PlayStation usually comes down to its library. And PlayStation fans have not been eating good so far. There's been a bit of a running gag in the gaming community that PlayStations never have any games early in their lives. It's been going on since the PS3, and the PS5 arguably has it the worst. Basically every big name title on the PS5 is also on the PS4, and the games that aren't are also on the Xbox Series X. And the few big name exclusives that the PS5 does have been drip fed to its player base, often several months apart, and to many die-hard fans, this system didn't even get its first system-selling title until 3 years into its lifespan. But just to put that into perspective for people who aren't in the know, most consoles launch with their biggest system-selling titles already out, or they fail completely. All this is to say that if you're buying a PS5, you're effectively investing in its future library, because you're not going to get much out of its current one. You're investing in the console's potential and the possibility that it will someday have a large library of great exclusive games. And usually that would be a pretty safe investment, but PlayStation's big name exclusives are kind of dropping like flies. Uncharted is done, God of War is done, Infamous and The Last of Us are almost definitely done, the majority of its legacy titles either don't exist anymore or were sold off to the competition. It'll probably be years before we get another Spider-Man, Horizon, Little Big Planet, or Ratchet & Clank, and that Wolverine game isn't even coming out until 2025. And Sony is shutting down their subsidiaries left and right, while Microsoft is buying every studio they can get their filthy little hands on, including multiple companies that Sony actively relies on to expand their library, and the current owner of Crash and Spyro. Not only is it entirely possible that the PlayStation's exclusive library will be practically non-existent compared to the competition, but if Microsoft keeps being Microsoft, Sony might not have much of a cross-platform library either. As much as I love PlayStation, I mean, I own every single one of their consoles and handhelds with one obvious exception, if you are planning on buying a PS5 because you are looking forward to the library it may one day have, I cannot in good faith call that a good investment. That being said, if you don't care about any of that, and you're just looking to upgrade to the new generation and play next-gen games, or you're buying your first console ever, or you just want a big ugly piece of shit sitting in the middle of your living room, or you're like me and you think Spider-Man alone is enough to justify buying a $500 system, then the PS5 is absolutely worth purchasing right now. But for everyone worried about exclusives, libraries, first-party titles, or having to pay $80 fucking to play online, maybe wait another year and see if things get better. You're only gonna miss out on like 6 games. Meanwhile, the Xbox Series X surprisingly doesn't have this library problem at all. Sure, the catalog of games might be small relative to the number of years the console has been out, and most of the library is still getting released on Xbox One, but there is a decent chance that things are going to get a lot better very soon. Microsoft has very loudly and very publicly been buying up every studio they can get their hands on. Mojang, Bethesda, Activision, Rare. Remember Rare? I wasn't born yet. So while many of Xbox's biggest franchises like Halo, Gears of War, and a third option, fall off or go dormant, the Xbox Series X has guaranteed big name exclusives coming to the console in the next few years. I mean, we haven't really seen that many yet, it's mainly just Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush, but it's safe to assume that they're on their way. And while whether or not Microsoft's continued monopolization of the gaming industry is actually a good thing is an argument for another day, no one can deny that this is a very, very good time to be an Xbox fan. Kind of. The Xbox Series X's real issue, aside from the stupid-ass name, is one of reputation. The company isn't exactly known for having big-name exclusives beyond Halo, Gears, and the game with all the cars, and basically every Xbox exclusive is either a timed exclusive, meaning that it'll be on PlayStation eventually, or they're released day and date on PC, which is technically a Microsoft platform, but also means that none of these games are actually Xbox exclusives, and also kind of makes people ask the question, why should I buy a new Xbox every 7 years when I can just buy a PC and upgrade individual parts as needed? And, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But what the people that say this fail to understand is that gaming PCs aren't as intrinsically accessible to most people as a console. Not everyone has the technical know-how to maintain and continuously upgrade a gaming PC, or even to buy one that can actually run the games they want to play. And while the prices of gaming PCs have dropped substantially, they're still significantly more expensive than a console. And also, some people just like to keep their games on a console and everything else on their PC. So for the average person, an Xbox exclusive is exclusive to Xbox. And when you combine that with the fact that Xbox Game Pass is objectively the best option in terms of video game subscription services, with hundreds of current and previous generation games, the entire mainline catalog of several widely beloved franchises, and several brand new releases available on their launch dates, all included as a part of the subscription service at no additional cost, combined with the fact that they own half the major studios that their competitors rely on for big name third-party games, it's starting to look like a very good year to be an Xbox fan. And as much as I cannot believe I'm saying this, I genuinely do believe that the Xbox Series X might actually be worth it. That being said, Microsoft has had this kind of momentum before and completely squandered it, but in terms of current and potential future value, for the first time since 2007, the Xbox might just be the best choice for gamers looking to enter the new generation. I'm still buying a PS5 though, I don't fucking care. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Yeah, sure, let's talk about the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch might technically be a last-gen console, but it's still current-gen in here, and it's also the only Nintendo system currently on the market, and it's still selling really, really well and getting a lot of games. So there's a decent chance that a lot of people are still gonna be buying it this holiday season. And in theory, the Nintendo Switch does actually look like the best choice. It has the largest and most diverse library, the most exclusive games, the lowest price point, the cheapest online, which comes bundled with the console's own stupid fucking Xbox Game Pass knockoff, and it functions as both a portable handheld and a home console. That is a lot of bang for your buck, and when compared to the value and price point of the competition, there are a lot of very obvious reasons to buy a Nintendo Switch. But it's also a console that is very clearly nearing the end of its lifespan. The Nintendo Switch has been out for almost 7 years, its hardware is archaic compared to the competition, the majority of Nintendo's biggest franchises have already received entries, and many of those entries have already received sequels, the output of games is clearly slowing down with a significant portion of recent and upcoming releases being remakes and remasters, and Nintendo is not only publicly discussing the possibility of their next home console, they are actively developing it. The Nintendo Switch is rapidly approaching the end of its lifespan, and it probably has, at best, 3 to 4 more years on the market, and at worst, we could be seeing Nintendo's next home console releasing by summer of 2024. So if you're looking for a console with any sort of longevity, or future, or continuously expanding library, maybe just wait a few more years before picking up a new Nintendo console. But if you don't really care about that sort of thing, and you just want a Nintendo console right this second, or you want to get into all the games that people have been talking about non-stop for the past 7 years, or you're planning on getting both a Nintendo Switch and the next Nintendo console no matter what, or you're buying for a child who doesn't really pay attention to what new games are coming out, or you just think that the Nintendo Switch is the perfect console for you, then the Nintendo Switch is absolutely a great purchase, and its existing library is more than enough to tide you over until Nintendo's next console. But you still gotta remember that it is a console nearing the end of its lifespan, and if you buy it right now, you're gonna be a generation behind everybody else. And if you haven't bought a Nintendo Switch already, do you really even want one at all? And if you're looking to buy a Nintendo Switch because you don't really care what consoles you own and you just want to play something Nintendo, just buy a fucking Wii. All in all, it's a very complicated conversation. Things aren't as simple as they were 2, 3, or even just 1 generation ago. The worth of a console is no longer guaranteed at launch or even 3 or 7 years later, and you can no longer just buy a new console in the hopes that the investment will pay off eventually, because the consoles you're buying just straight up might not get the games you want them to anymore. And I think it really all just comes down to only buying the damn thing if you actually want it. If you're buying it because you just want to upgrade to the new generation, or there are very specific games that you want to play, then that's a great reason to buy it. If you're only getting it because you don't want to miss out on what everybody else is playing, or because you think the console might someday have a massive library that actually appeals to you, those are bad reasons to buy anything. Really, it all just comes down to, if you need to be convinced to buy the console, then you should probably just wait until the console convinces you to buy it all on its own. And if it fails to do that, then it's a good thing you didn't buy it in the first place. I think that the PS5 and Xbox Series X are great consoles with growing libraries and a lot of potential, and the Nintendo Switch has already proven itself to be a genuinely good console with an incredible library. So there are absolutely reasons to buy these consoles for a lot of people. They have worth, they have value, but in their current states, there is still a lot missing and a lot to be desired. So if you are on the fence about buying a new console, I mean, you've already waited this long. 1 more year isn't gonna kill you. Go!